welcome to this stream and live talk with my dear friend Logan about Superman. Is he going to survive in Warhammer 40k? And for a lot of comic book fans, Superman is the most famous freaking character ever, not the most loved because he's very misunderstood, but that's another topic. Everyone knows, even the grandma of the grandma, who the heck is Superman, but not a lot of people know what is Warhammer 40k, and we are about to say with 2 words what is that, so the people that have no freaking idea get into the idea that Superman may or may not survive in this universe. So guys, Logan here is a long-time comic book fan and he's pretty much a specialist, and I'm the closest thing to that, but not as not as good as Logan. So that is why he is here, to remind me of some of the Superman's powers that maybe I will forget. And I'm the Warhammer expert, as far as that is possible as well, for my almost 4 years now in the lore, and and me discovering this amazing universe. Someone that is a complete nerd, and someone that just fell onto Warhammer because of the Astartes project, and have been in love with it ever since. So, Superman, as you know, is amazing, very strong. He is pretty much, what's the word for that?
A real superhero.
I mean, he's not easily hurt at all. He's basically invulnerable.
Yeah.
I always struggle with this word.
Invulnerable.
Yeah.
He cannot be hurt easily.
No, he cannot, and he can basically be hurt only by magic, and not all types of magic.
Not all types of magic, yes.
And he can be hurt by kryptonite, which is a rock from his
non-existing in Warhammer.
Yeah, non-existing in Warhammer. And what is Warhammer? It is extremely vast. One of the most vastest. Is that the word? Logan.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Vastest universes in 40k, and it is so long to explain. But it is what Star Wars it isn't. It is dark. It is spanning through thousands and thousands of years. That is why it's called 40k, because in the current lore we're at the 40,000 and basically the 41st millennium, and the story starts maybe from the first millennium, depends.
This will make a good t-shirt, by the way. Warhammer, what Star Wars is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone has to make that.
Yeah. Warhammer also has the fantasy side, which is very different from 40k, but they do share gods. The same gods are in both universes. So the whole story of 40k is basically comprised of chaos gods, which are all freaking evil, and they come with some perks, but they take a lot for those, so it's pretty much how evil works anyway. And then you have the God Emperor of Mankind, which is the highest of beings, the most powerful one, who has so many freaking powers that you cannot list them all in an hour, basically. They're just too much. And in the world of 40k, there is magic, but it's mostly psychic powers. In the Warhammer Fantasy world, we are dealing with magic, with more of the magic that we are familiar with from other universes. Whereas in 40k, it's more about the psychic powers, which include many things from telepathy and what was that? Telekinesis.
Yeah.
Just the shooting lightning from your fingers, like in Star Wars.
Ultimate power.
And other stuff like that. So the question is, what is relevant to this is, will Superman survive in this universe? 40k also has a ton of weapons and new technologies that we have not seen in other universes, but we also have like laser guns, for example. They have bolter guns, which shoot bullets, but very, very, very big bullets that can explode on impact and other stuff like that. And hi to everybody in the chat, dear Clyton Sir D. I'm so happy to see ya. Sir D is here.
I
Hi, Sir D.
we also choose that place because apparently it's not a place for goody two shoes. and some people would say that you know, Superman being a Boy Scout would not last even 5 minutes there. So that was kind of what, you know, what inspired us to
Do
that.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, do this because not many people are doing these comparisons, and not many people are DC fans and Warhammer fans and comic book fans and Warhammer fans. I mean, if you're a nerd, you're sometimes one type of a nerd, or a nerd towards one thing only, Lord of the Rings or whatever, but we just happen to be nerds in many, many universes.
More than one. Oh yeah, in multiverse of nerdness.
Multiverses of nerdness. Yes, that is cool. That is cool.
Also a t-shirt.
Also on a t-shirt, yeah. No, that's a freaking great idea for a t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah. So Sir D says, I think Superman will be snatched by Ordozenas after 1 week. I'm not sure. Maybe you think that because he is an alien himself, but I think that a lot of people forget that he's freaking humanoid, and he
Yeah.
looks like a human being. And he would be a human being if just someone shows him the red sun somehow. He's going to turn into a normal human that is capable of being hurt, just
Yeah.
like a regular human would.
Exactly. Also, he has. I think they established that in New 52 that solar flare power, that he can basically create a big charge of solar energy that could destroy a small city, let's say, but at the cost of being a normal human for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So he's using it very sparingly. So maybe if he uses it in a moment like that here, but then again, what he's going to do after for those 24 hours?
Ah.
There was an episode in the Justice League cartoon in which he actually was transported to a planet with a red sun, and he lost his powers, but he survived for a week or a month, a long time of period by you know, he knew how to survive. He actually knows stuff, so he knew how to fight with some of the creatures there because of his knowledge about aliens from different planets. He knew how to make food. He didn't shave, as far as I remember, but he survived there, so he does have some knowledge, actually. Again, vast universal knowledge from all the things in his fortress of solitude, as we say. So that's one option.
Okay, and actually, Sir D brings a very good point here, that Trazyn, Nergo, and Zinch would have been dangerous for him. Yes, Trazyn is one of the Necrons, pretty much one of the most powerful imaginable Necrons. Yeah, they do have technologies and powers that could affect Superman. That is true. I mean, the Necrons in general have that. So yeah, the Necrons are not easy to defeat if Superman does not know what they're capable of at the beginning. But then again, he can also obliterate them only with his heat vision.
I mean, he
pretty quickly.
survived guys like Brainiac, who is also a kind of type of robot, you know. It's a supercomputer that has a body, things that depends on the iteration, but still.
Yeah.
Also, and
Who encompasses the knowledge of a lot of universes
yeah,
and thousands of years of knowledge. He just has that. So he is a
Yeah.
very high
exactly.
intelligence. And Superman can read thousands of books in basically minutes.
Yeah,
So there's that. I mean, a lot of people forget that his level of intellect is really super, and he can always enhance that by really consuming a ton of information really, really fast.
also he fought an army that Brainiac has created in comic books, again, from robots and things like that. He fought Metao, who is one of his big nemesis, who is actually kind of like a cyborg. Not well, he was a man, then turned into a robot, so let's say cyborg, but he has the energy source of a kryptonite in his chest, so even then Superman actually had a chance for that. So maybe he'll survive the Necrons. But what about the other two guys? If you tell us more about them,
Okay,
maybe we'll find.
Nergal is the god of decay and the yucky things.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
I think that Nergal can try to infect Superman with some kind of a disease. I don't think that's gonna work because he's extremely durable. He just does not have
Yeah.
weaknesses from a virus's standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he can affect him this way. He cannot affect him in terms of persuasion to join him because Superman is the total opposite of what Nergal represents. Zinch is the god of a ton of deceit, lies, half truths, just manipulation in general. Superman will never fall for that.
Well, I mean,
He
Lex
has
Luthor,
higher
so.
values. Yeah, he can always
Yeah.
fall for what the heck Lex Luthor has cooking, but he doesn't. So
Exactly.
I don't think that Zinch can affect him, judging by how many Astartes and other very well-known characters are able to withstand the Chaos God's compulsion. Superman is one of the best in terms of high values and virtues, so
Yeah.
he will not be able to be, affected by them in any case. What else? So yeah, the Necrons are more dangerous, if anything, if they
Yeah.
can catch
Out of
him
this, yes.
out of guard without Superman knowing what to do with them exactly. But if he does, he would just destroy them. He can totally destroy the whole planet of the Necros if he
Yeah,
wants to,
yeah.
just by moving through the planet,
Or
through
with
the
the solar
core.
flare, but he can go to the core.
Yeah,
So yeah. Also, well, we kind of need to know exactly what bullets they're using. He'd still probably be, you know, bulletproof or whatever.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
still metal.
It's still, yeah.
It's still Earth, guys.
It's still Earth. Yeah.
Terra is just
Exactly.
it's still Earth. The Warhammer universe is still our universe. Technically, it has the same solar system, the same sun, the same Earth. Everything is the same. It's just in the future. The future.
Yeah, and
So yeah.
if Superman actually lets loose, which he knows very well that if he has to, then things get dangerous. Like when he fought Darkseid once, and he said, "What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to let loose." And then he had one big powerful punch. After that, he also survived, and in a way, he survived Doomsday. I mean, he died, but then he still was resurrected. So he has seen some pretty much hardcore stuff. Also, he was like a gladiator for I forget his for Mongol, yes, which he put him against different enemies. That was like again alien type of warlord who wanted to see who is going to be the strongest. That was again in an episode, but we take that again as a canon because some of them were inspired by the comic books anyway. So what other example? Oh yeah, there was an example in the animated movie based on a comic book, Superman and the Elite, in which again he had to let loose against those 4 or 5 guys who had different powers because one of them had kind of like brain manipulation, I think. But again, he told them, "Now you're going to see what can happen if I actually use all of my powers." So yeah, so it won't be easy even for the Warhammer guys actually.
No, it will not. I mean, the Custodes can try to stop him. Maybe several of them will be needed to just slow him down a bit, but still, they would not be able to stop him really. Maybe if he's transported, because he should be transported from the other universe, the DC universe, he will not be even affected by the warp in general because in the DC universe, in the DC universe, there's just no such thing. There are other gods, and Superman coming from this other world, having nothing in terms of an essence of the soul or nature of the soul, anything like that, that is connected or ever touched the warp with a 10-foot pole. I don't think that he would even be affected by the warp. We really have to think more about that, but
Yeah.
just purely on his virtues, he should be totally immune to the chaos gods and or anything like that.
He
And
could be affected by some again brain manipulation magic or something like that because there were examples in which he was brain controlled by other characters. I mean, even in a comic book with Batman, there was a moment in which Poison Ivy was able to control him
Pheromones?
by the pheromones, and which kind of messed up his brain. So if she can do it, then also there were other examples of that other magical creatures, but in terms of maybe that's the only magic that could work. Also, if they have a magic that doesn't exactly look like a normal thing, for example, yes, he can be hurt by lightning magic, but lightning is still lightning. Doesn't matter how you conjure it, it's still lightning. So if it doesn't hurt him exactly
No.
as a normal lightning, it doesn't count. It should be magic. Maybe in the fantasy, I think they'll have something there.
In the fantasy, that's not that
Yeah.
topic.
So yeah. Exactly. Here, with what they have,
With the psychic powers.
Yes. Also, he's not as susceptible to that as he used to be, because it happened to him many times. So he should know how to have a better control over his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Emperor for sure will be able to hurt him to an
Yeah,
extent.
yeah.
For sure. Because there's certain powers and magic through the whole being of the Emperor, through his sword. There's the I don't know, this name always is very hard for me. The Anatheme blade that we just talked about in the previous stream. I don't want to say any spoilers, but yeah, the Emperor uses that, and it's capable of killing a god or a
Yeah.
Primarch. So maybe, just maybe because it's magical and it's capable of killing even the highest of demons, we'll be able to hurt Superman. But this is definitely speculative, because once again, we don't know if the magic of Warhammer can actually touch Superman, who
Yeah.
has nothing to do with it. Whereas if it's a magic from the DC universe, at least it has something to do with it, because he's a creature that exists in that world, you know. So I do think that the Emperor could present a
Yeah.
huge challenge
That's
to
probably the only
Superman.
one who could do something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Serdi says, but Trazin would just poke bow him right after saying hello.
But with what?
With his staff.
Okay, it's still a weapon. Or...
But then again, Superman is not stupid. You always forget that, guys.
Yeah.
He will communicate from afar. At
Yeah,
least he knows what he's dealing with. He's not
Exactly.
just gonna be like, I'm dropping from the sky.
He's not a Boy
in
Scout
front
who
of you.
sells cookies in front of your door. I mean, so yeah, he's
Yeah.
still not that naive or anything.
He can talk from like basically a few kilometers at least,
Yeah.
just with his, with his hearing, and he can talk in the ways that you can hear him in kilometers away. So even he can just use some kind of a communicator,
Communicator.
a box, something taken from others, who knows. So yeah, answer this says theory Superman was really just one of identities of the Emperor. Ha!
Nice. I mean, why not?
But the Emperor can't fly, as far as I know. He can move in space, but can't fly, so...
Well, maybe when he was Superman, the original Superman couldn't fly either.
Oh, yeah, no. He jumped.
maybe it's that version. So.
But we never even heard about Primarch jumping really, really high.
No.
Sanguinius can't fly, but he has wings. And, then after anyone turns into a demon Primarch, they usually get wings, like Gangron. But otherwise, yeah, he doesn't fly, the Emperor, that is. Okay, so Tarzan can manipulate time and space. Well, okay, Superman can just rewind that.
I mean,
Depends on which Superman you're talking about.
Depends on that, yeah. I mean, if we take the movie one,
He can just like go the
I
opposite.
he fought with other people who could do that, like Metron from this year. He could do that, plus the anti-monitor who created the whole multiverse thingy to begin with in DC. So he'll probably figure out something. Again, I also think that the Emperor is the only one who can actually do something. Sorry,
Serdi.
things the same.
Okay, I think the Emperor can easily levitate.
Ah,
I don't know, I never read that. If you can find me a source in which he did. If I mean, levitation is different than flying because levitation is limited. It's literally up to a point in the air. You cannot just move around like Superman. You just sit in the air. I
yeah.
mean, you're just in the air, but you can't, move so freely as you do if you really, really fly. So it depends on how they describe what levitation is, if they did. Oh, hi to Dido. He says Kryptonian physiology is an interesting wrinkle for 40k. Superman morals are what run most. Wait a minute. Morals are what run most in conflict. You mean are most in conflict with 40k? Zod would be more appropriate.
But
Well,
again, here we go to the thing that you guys think that he really is just a Boy Scout who has milk on his lips or something like that. You know, I mean, yeah, you don't have to be a Scrooge Zod to survive here. You know, Superman is not naive. He
he's
knows when
not
things are
naive.
serious. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why people think that he's naive. He never was
Yeah.
naive. He was always damn freaking serious about what he's doing, his morals, his virtues, and he stood by that. The fact that he firmly stands by what he believes in, he protects people,
Yeah.
doesn't make him in any way naive. On the contrary, he can deal with a ton, I mean, with a lot of evil entities, all kinds of evil entities that have all kinds of trickery up their sleeve, things that Superman would never even imagine
Yeah.
that someone could do and stoop so low. So he is a very good person, but he's not naive. He can deal with all of that. He is strong enough in mind, body, and soul. And he proved that many times when he actually didn't have his powers. He is resourceful. He has to be clever when he is a reporter. He has to
Yeah.
be clever to live a double life and pretend that he's not Superman. He has to be a very good actor all the time.
Exactly.
He can
Yeah.
read thousands of books in no time and gather whatever knowledge he needs. He can live a lot longer than a human being, so that also extends his time to learn
He
and
knows how
develop.
to adapt, yeah, to a situation. When he comes into this universe, he'll know that the things are tough, and it's not going to be, oh no, I'm never gonna kill guys or things like that. Well, he will adapt to whatever he has to do
Yeah.
in situations.
Plus the Primarchs, if you think about the good Primarchs, not the bad Primarchs, the good Primarchs like Gilliman, Rogodorn, Sanguinius, they have the same virtues and care sometimes that are very comparable, I mean, to Superman. They care about humanity, they care about honor and the different moral compass, virtues, all of that. They do have that. Yes, they are fighting for the Imperium, which is questionable in terms of how the Emperor does things, but in their core, they actually want to protect human beings, and inherently, they're really good. I mean, they will honor each other's opinions, wishes. They possess everything that you would think that a hero should possess. It's just that they are fighting for a questionable leader in a few ways. Although the emperor was pretty much redeemed in the end in the death part 2, and then in part 3, because the fact that he gave up his godly power and all of that I'm not gonna go into because very long, and I already did that in previous streams and videos. But yeah, the point is that Superman has all of those virtues of honor, to protect people, to protect the earth in general. So he will fit in into the ideal that humanity must survive and must proceed forward. He's human with powers. I mean, he's Kryptonian, but he's really more human than most humans are
He
on
was
Earth.
raised as a human, yeah.
Yeah, the
So
fact that he has powers is the only thing that differentiates him from a hero that does not have powers, but he has virtues and everything else. So,
yes, we know what happens if he doesn't have those virtues. I mean, for example, like in Injustice, I think that the 3D said something about the Injustice version. Uh, Also, they had in one of the, again, in Superman animated series, they have an episode like that much before Injustice, by the way, in which Lois Lane was, I think, dead or something like that, and she and our voice traveled into the future or in that timeline or something, and because she was not there, Superman actually took over Earth. He had a black costume and something. He was depressed and things like that. Rules like a different regime. Also, we know what happens with in Superman Red Sun when he was raised in another country, not to say,
Yeah.
So in situations like that, we see that he actually can really let Lucian have that power, so he could do it without being evil this time. So he doesn't need to be able to use all of his power. He just knows when, how, and should I do it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So he will stand much more chance.
Yeah, besides, guys, the point is, if Superman, like we know Superman, the good Superman, will he survive a 40K? So the short answer is he should survive with flying colors, because a lot of others that are just regular humans do. Of course, Superman will be held to a very high, what's the word for that? Well, he will have another image, because he will be the one person that can fly the fastest on his own. He will not need a spaceship to travel in space and all those things. So he would be compared to the Emperor, and the Emperor probably will challenge him or something like that. Or just, Superman will decide to
become a Primarch.
no, no, because he has to be an Emperor's son to do that. But
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, rule somehow with the Emperor, or just slap him and become the Emperor himself. Who knows, really?
Yeah.
Because if he cannot agree with all the methods of the Emperor, there's going to be a conflict there.
For sure. I mean, he doesn't agree with all of Batman's methods, so.
Let alone the Emperor. Okay, so let's read your comments. He is not a stupid Boy Scout. He's not a Brucier or a brawler. He's a wonderful idolist, and he's a lot of fun.
He is, yeah.
Why he's not a brawler? He can fight.
Well, yeah, he can fight. So
He
I
can
mean,
literally fight.
he doesn't go to bars and looking for a fight, but he knows how to fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that he loves it or anything, like Lobo, for example, who lives for that.
We'll say this.
But essentially, but when he has to, he'll do it. Also, he will know that he can use that power also to punish bad guys, even if by not killing them. But they will be punished. Depends what they deserve.
Yeah, he could heal Terra, and has the morals to do it. Yeah, he can figure out all the world's problems and fix them a lot better than the Emperor can, because the Emperor does have too much of a invasive and well, basically next to evil ways of doing that. And Superman can do that without actually having to kill a ton of people. So there's that. You have won a friend in me for the proper Superman love. Oh,
Nice.
Dado, thank you. We are both huge Superman fans, and have Superman figures and statues.
Pretty much everything.
And I have a Supergirl costume
Here we go.
that is made specially for me, and I wear it sometimes. And of course, Logan has T-shirts. So
Of
there's
Superman,
that.
yeah. Comic books, drawings, whatever. Everything.
And
we
we
just
both-
don't have a good Superman game. That's the
Yeah.
only thing we don't have. But,
We want it. And we also, I forgot what we also, something about Superman. I said, we both have drawn Superman as when we were kids, and now
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And we did this AI art with Superman. So it's
Yes. What if he was
Original.
actually in that universe?
original me AI art. Okay, so just so you know how much of a Superman fans we are.
Yeah.
Oh, did you like the Man of Steel movies? Let us know. Okay, Insert he says, I like to see him as overpowered, but in 40K they would just manage to subdue him. Why? Why would they? I mean, there's a lot of super powerfully characters in
Yeah.
40k, and what Horus became when he accepted chaos within him, and how the Emperor is really in general. And just say anyone really. I mean, even Malkador is extremely powerful by himself, and the Primarchs and Sanguinius, compared to the other Primarchs, is the best warrior and all of that. So why not have a Superman there? It's just gonna be difficult to deal with Superman.
Yeah.
So that's where the interesting part begins, and where a very good writer like Dan Abnett maybe can figure out. And he actually wrote some comic books, I
I think
think,
he did, yes.
for DC.
So here we go. Would be a nice idea. They could do it.
Dan,
Why not?
stop writing for no, just don't stop writing for the
I
kids.
mean,
It's so
finish your
good.
stuff and then
Finish
and
your
then do the
stuff.
other. Yeah.
Go help DC because they're a freaking mess right now, as well as Marvel. Okay, so he could probably join Imperium. Probably, but there's a lot of ifs and buts there. And Dado says, looking at Superman's War World story, it's pretty close to what if Superman was depowered on a dead world.
I think this was the story that I said in the based on the story that was in the animation, that he didn't have his powers and he had to survive there. You know, they did something like that, and in another cartoon, I think that was called Justice League Action. Again, he was stranded on a planet. Don't because haven't watched it that much like the other Justice League, but he was stranded on a planet. I think he even broke his leg because he didn't have powers. And Steppenwolf was there, but you know the comic book Steppenwolf, who kind of looks like a normal human. And even then, he actually Superman with a broken leg helped him to survive.
Ah,
So yeah, so he does know how to do that.
great. Okay, so Dale also says he doesn't need the warp or travel. Yeah. He's not corruptible. Yeah. He's just too fast and strong for anything 40k offers. Yeah, he can pretty much destroy a whole fleet by himself. That's true. I mean, like we said, the only person like that he could fight side by side, and not side by side too, but against is the Emperor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the magic of the Emperor can really do something to Superman. We just don't know if that's gonna even
Yeah.
be.
So probably that's why it would be actually the only one who who can do something, because we don't know exactly how the magic works. Still a magic. Then again,
Yeah, it's power.
then is it actually Earth magic again, or?
It is a power from the warp.
Mhm.
But the Emperor is powerful on its own as well.
Yeah.
So there's
So
that.
this would be an interesting thing. So someone actually has to do that on a video, how they fight, these fan battles that they make sometimes. So maybe we'll be their inspiration to do it after our discussion. Yeah.
Oh, hopefully. And Dido says, I like the Men of Steel for their spectacle, but I disagree that Superman should kill Zod when he could have put his indestructible arm in front of Zod's eyes. That is interesting. There's a lot of, I mean, we talked about this many times as well, but in this
But
case,
he still probably could be hurt with his hand because it's still Kryptonian heat vision, not. I mean, Kryptonian can hurt Kryptonian. They have powers, so pretty much the same thing. Also, would he be able to hold him that tight if he just hold it with one arm and then the other is on his eyes? Again, probably that. So
too close
yeah,
also.
yeah,
The strength of the
mean,
beam is probably the strongest at the beginning of the
yeah,
beam, not at the end.
exactly. Also, it's a situation in which you have to think about the people that were there, and not exactly can I have both? This is not Spider-Man who can jump from the bridge to save Mary Jane that falls, and then the bus from the other side. So it was not a situation like that, I think. So I think that the heat vision can't hurt him. It's still Kryptonian thing. If it can pushes him away and other things, it will surely push in his arm. Zod has the same powers. When they're on Earth, all Kryptonians have the same powers.
Yeah, besides that, what we are going to do with Zod after Superman just puts his arm on his eyes, or his hand, let's say. What is then left to do with Zod, because he was absolutely clear that he's going to kill absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
The whole of humanity. He was terraforming Earth to destroy humanity. So even
Yeah.
if that process, I mean, once that process is completed, we are dying. We are no longer compatible with the planet. We are dying. So
Exactly.
he wants to commit absolute genocide to the whole planet that is not his, just because his planet got destroyed
Yeah.
because of mistakes that his people did make. So they are dead by their own fault. Firstly, secondly, Superman would not only save the family right then and there, he will save, like I've said, the whole planet.
Yeah.
Even if he just puts his arm and stops the family from being, fried,
Actually,
the whole planet's gonna die.
that could probably explode Zod's brain off anyway. I mean, you put your
Ah,
hand in front, so yeah.
actually, that could also happen.
That could happen.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
makes sense, actually. Because if he can go through his arm, he can hurt his arm,
Yeah,
let's say,
it's
but
still
he cannot
pressure
go.
with
Yeah,
that.
still pressure, yeah. Probably going to explode his brain.
Mhm.
Ah, that's great. Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of situations, guys, in which in comic books some characters did kill,
Yeah.
and there's exception, depends on the circumstances and the context of the story. So it's not only about absolutes here. When you're dealing with absolutes, do not kill ever
Yeah.
or kill ever 100%. You're dealing with evil in any case of the spectrum when it's an absolute.
Yeah.
There has to be sometimes a gray area in which you just have to judge the situation. That is how life works as well. Policemen kill all the time to do their
Yeah.
job. Sometimes they are totally what's the word for that, justified, and sometimes they're not. But that's the thing, you have situations in which they could be justified. It could depend, I mean, their life could depend on a certain situation. If they do not kill, they cannot solve situation, thus they also die. So Superman, having the power that he has, being so young, and never had to deal with anything like that, he made the only choice that he could make in this situation.
Yeah.
The
And
whole
that still
world,
hurt him. Emotionally still hurt him. It
that's
was
why
not
he yelled.
it was
Yeah.
not a thing that and okay, now I'm the last one. No, it still hurt for that. So, but that's the choice that you have to do as a hero. You have to make the better choice
Yeah.
in that situation.
So Zack Snyder basically here was like, hey, how about if we put the hero in a situation that in this world can really happen, and what he will do, will he just do the logical thing or just let everyone die and find some kind of a way, some kind of other way? But there's just no other way in
Yeah.
this timeline. And the other thing is, guys, that the point of all of all of this this start of the Superman story in the Zack Snyder universe was that in the future he should become the lighter Superman. That was the
Yeah,
idea.
that was the idea.
After he gets through all of that crap and he learns, he actually starts believing more in
Exactly.
humanity when he is brought back, and he becomes this more lighter Superman that actually gives hope to the world. But he first has to go through mistakes,
Yeah.
trials and tribulations in order for him to build his own personality and character as a hero. So sometimes a hero does have to make certain choices in order for him to become
Exactly.
better version of himself, and we just expect that he's just gonna be pop. He's just this very light character
the
without
journey.
going through anything.
Exactly. That's the journey of a hero. Each one of them has it. Batman has his tragedy. Spider-Man has it. Most of them have pretty much. Not everyone is just, oh, I wake up one morning with powers and decide I'm going to be a superhero now. There
Yeah.
must be something that happened so that the hero has this journey with the mistakes and everything. So I mean, Luke Skywalker also had to fight his father,
Yeah, how
before
about
he
that?
actually became the Great Jedi, the first
Jedi.
battle that he had with Vader. So he had to learn. He made mistakes and things like that in his study. Also, Yoda told him that is your mistake because he said, I don't believe this. And he said, that is your mistake. Or your mistake, that is, I don't. You get the point. Things have to happen to the hero, and they won't be nice and pretty, but that's when you go
That
out of
character
the.
growth.
Exactly. So, yeah. And by the way, a good comment we have there.
Okay, let's see. So basically, guys, we can agree to disagree or whatever, but this is our train of thought about characters because we also grew up with the light Superman.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when we saw that on screen, we saw how this is, just makes Superman deeper in
Yeah,
some
yeah.
ways. It does not detract from his character. It just makes him
Yeah.
deeper. We
Because
are
we have
naive
that
to
brain,
think
yes.
that the perfect character is gonna be born if he's only pure and clean from the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
In that, we have to believe in absolutes always. Too good or too bad or something like that. And there's never like a gray zone in which we can exist and balance things out somehow. Okay, like the Man of Steel. There.
Okay, I'm subscribing at this one.
If ever in this channel, it's your life. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tato. I appreciate that. We're going to have more talks like we always do. And more streams because I'm doing some Warhammer things behind the scenes, but I also decided that I do have to appear like I did. I did. I cannot just create stuff behind the scenes and never show myself. That's just not who I am. So, gotta show myself and talk. Okay, let's catch up with his comments. And by the way, guys, before we continue, very important thing, if you wish me to review or we together to review any movie, the place for that is Patreon. In that way, we did a lot watch along for RoboCop. It was very fun because I was never the one person that saw the movie. I've never seen that. There's many movies that I
It's even
haven't
more
seen.
interesting that way, actually.
Yeah, because I really never seen freaking RoboCop. I have seen the newer version, and Logan said it's crap. It's a trap.
Yeah, it's
crap.
a trap, especially if you haven't seen the original one. It's a big trap, yes.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So one of our amazing friends and fans, Matty, support us on Patreon. So we were able to do that. So thank you very much, Matty, for that. And I wanted to let you know, guys, that Patreon is one thing, and the other thing that I'm also providing are coaching services, intimate relationship advice, and all of that here. I mean, you see that, right? I'm gonna put another thing. I'm using this site for good, people. This site for good.
It says right there. So,
Fitness,
yeah.
health, personal advice. That should be on top of us. I'm gonna put it on top. So yeah. There's also my own physique updates and ASMR. If somebody likes ASMR, people still don't know what is ASMR.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a relaxing technique and so on. So there's that. Okay, let's catch up with the comments. Oh, thank you, dear Platon, for the links. And Logan actually also was a cameo at one of my OnlyFans videos because he explained how he lost weight.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So it's all good. Let's catch up with Dido's comments now. He can save everyone. That's the power fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah, but he understands later what we.
Oh, let me see. Okay, Superman whole character is letting himself be hurt so others don't get hurt. Okay, he can save anyone. Then okay, I love Superman comics. This isn't the first story of Superman being moral and good and winning. We have other heroes to tell those stories. Okay, okay. The lack of experience is a solid argument. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. He doesn't know he really can save everyone yet. Having to grow into it, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly, absolutely. I mean, Zack Snyder could be very cynical guy, and we don't like that part.
Yeah.
We don't like that side of Zack Snyder because he is going overboard about some things.
Yeah.
But about Superman's growth here in Man of Steel, I think that he is onto something because no one ever dared to actually show this possible side of Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
If you would like, I can recommend some good books, but I never want to Gatekeep Superman. If you like to know some titles to look for, I can point you to some stories that were good for me. Of course.
Yeah.
Please
Also,
let us know.
write them either now or in the comments,
Yeah.
either in the video. I'll also make sure to see if I have read those stories and we could talk about
We
that
can
too.
converse.
So yeah, exactly.
Yes. Thank you really, dear Clayton, for joining, for all the links. So, yeah, guys, Superman, the conclusion is that Superman will totally survive in Warhammer 40k, but the question now is, will he just try to defeat the Emperor and become the ultimate, like, ruler of Earth, or just join the Emperor and try to like help sometimes? I mean, that doesn't seem so, because he will totally not agree.
Yeah, he won't agree
With all the
with
killing.
that, I think, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He will not, or he will just say F that and go back to DC.
Go back, yeah. Or to go to the Mortal Kombat universe again, like in the game that Mortal Kombat versus DC.
Yeah.
How did he not kill all the guys from Mortal Kombat? I don't remember. Okay, but still.
In Injustice versus everyone else.
No, there was a game before Injustice, that a game from the same guys that did Mortal Kombat. It was called Mortal Kombat versus DC, or DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I played that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was 100 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
That's the issue. Yeah, oh, that was great. Well, how? The same way anyone can fight anyone
Plot armor.
in Mortal Kombat. You know, the Joker can fight Superman as well.
Yeah,
He's totally gonna survive.
So, you know.
Never mind the fact that in reality Superman is going to be like, achoo!
Well,
and you know,
he's contained
Joker no
himself,
more.
yeah.
Okay, he's gonna be Apchiho with both hands.
Yeah, with both hands, exactly.
That totally gonna protect the Joker, yes.
So yeah. If you want to hear some other discussions like that with some other character, could do that if there is interest. So just tell us.
Yeah, guys, tell us, of course. Write in the whatever section, the community. Yeah, we're ready to make community posts and all those things. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. You can always suggest topics as well that we can talk about. Other characters, will other Warhammer characters survive in 40k? Not only Superman, but whoever else, like Brainiac probably will, like the Necrons.
Or God, as it was mentioned.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that is gonna be a problem, because he would want to conquer Earth for sure,
Yeah.
and the Emperor's gonna be like, no, not on my watch, mister.
We do have an interesting video about Doctor Doom, was it, yes, versus the Emperor, but Doctor Doom with his full powers in the moment that he had him, so you can see that also.
Yeah, that's side-by-side comparison between Doctor Doom, the God version, and the Emperor of Mankind. Okay, guys, I love you. Have a great Friday, and we will see each other very, very soon. Just watch the channel. Love you guys. Bye-bye.